Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Life, Law, Bin.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. Well, today's video, we will be talking about how to pass the Bar Standards Board's Professional Ethics Examination. Now, the Pupil Professional Ethics Exam is compulsory for all students who commenced bar training from 2020 onwards or who completed the bar transfer test from August 2021 onwards. BPTC graduates who passed the course before summer 2022 are not required to take the exam. Now, the eligibility requirements that I'm referring to would be as at the date of this video and as at the date that I sat the exam, which was in January 2024. But please check the eligibility requirements regarding whether you are required to undertake this examination during pupillage. Now, this is an open book examination. The only information, though, that you can view in the exam is from the BSB Code of Conduct. All other materials you must know, as you cannot carry them into the exam. Please refer to the syllabus for all required knowledge. Disclaimer, this video is applicable to when I sat the exam, so that's why I'm telling you to please check the eligibility requirements, please check the syllabus, as these things may be updated. Now, markers grade each examination paper as competent or not competent. The aim is to achieve a result of competent. I successfully passed this exam, so thank God for that. So I thought to myself, what better way than to give back? So below are my top tips for studying for the exam. Let's get into it. As soon as you begin pupillage, flag with your supervisor that you must undertake this examination. This is part and parcel of your pupillage. During the course of your pupillage, devise a study timetable and discuss it with your supervisor. So for example, 8 weeks before the examination, you may request, for example, 3 hours weekly to study. Now, your supervisor should accommodate this request as it is a part of your pupillage training. You cannot fully complete pupillage if you do not pass. Resist, people, resist the urge in your mind that you can fully revise on the weekend. Pupillage is very, very busy and you will be extremely tired on weekends to put in the required hours. So please do impress upon your supervisor the necessity of finding a way of crafting this into your pupillage, into your weeks before the examination. The Inns of Court College of Advocacy, affectionately known as ICA, has developed pupil ethics training materials to support those pupils required to take the exam. ICA has based its materials on the syllabus set by the Bar Standards Board. In my opinion, it provides a comprehensive guide to the provisions on which the syllabus is based. Now, there is a fee attached to using the pupil ethics training material. It costs £150 for pupils and £75 for ICA alumni. Remember, these things, all the information in this video is applicable to the date that I sat that exam in January 2024. So please do double check. You will have access to the materials for 12 months, irrespective of when you take the BSB's assessment. Now, I know you're probably thinking, we're pupils, we are broke. How can we even afford this? I know it's costly, but I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. Check your pupillage agreement and see if you can recoup the cost from chambers. So do that now. Pause the video, go check it and see if you can get back the cost from chambers. If not, I still impress upon you if you can borrow it from parents, family, if you can take it from your savings or even a credit card. I would tell you it's really, really helpful. ICA lists the required reading. Go to the actual document, read it through thoroughly. So ICA lists the required reading in the syllabus. But I do recommend that you go to the actual BSB code of conduct or handbook and ensure that you read it thoroughly, highlighting relevant sections and ensuring that you understand it thoroughly. Make sure that you familiarize yourself with the content in the BSB handbook and the layout. Do not take this for granted. You need to know it well so that you aren't wasting time in the exam searching for a particular section. So you should broadly remember where it is so that you can quickly navigate to it, because that's the trap with open book exams. People think they don't have to study as much, that the answer is right there. You're going to waste a lot of time searching through that material if you do not know where to look. ICA also offers interactive resources to consolidate your knowledge. They're helpful quizzes, scenarios, podcasts, and there's a mock exam at the end. Now, when you finish the syllabus using the ICA resources, undertake the BSB's mock exams. Undertake any sample questions that you find as well. The BSB usually provides it. Check your responses after you complete the questions using the answer key. I encourage you to practice answering these questions within the timing given the exam. The duration of the exam is 3 hours, so make sure you're timing yourself. Practice, 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 practice. The structure of the exam is short answered questions. You will have 3 hours to answer 12 questions. That was what we had. You may think that it is a lot of time, but it isn't. You really have 15 minutes to read the question and write a response. You should aim to write your response in prose with reference to the core duties, the rules of conduct, guidance, and with reference to the BSB code guidance documents, the equality rules, the Bar Council guidance, and other relevant documentation. Now, if you run out of time, you can effectively use bullet points. Just remember to come to a conclusion about how you would resolve or address the ethical dilemma. So don't just make this an essay on ethics, or just don't leave yourself sitting on the fence. Take a position about how you would resolve it. They want to know what you would do practically in that situation. I encourage you also to download the past commentary about how students performed in previous examinations. Pay attention to the strengths and the weaknesses to certain responses. I found that was really helpful because the examiners would discuss each question that the cohort before you had, and they would say which percentage really struggled with it, and they'd explain what were the weaknesses, what were the strengths, what they were looking for. Really familiarize yourself. The only real way to do well in an exam is when you know or you're comfortable with what your marker may be looking for. So don't bypass that commentary and think it's a waste of time. Do have a look at it. You will have the option to sit this exam in person at a test center or online. It's up to you what you choose to do. I sat it online from the comfort of my flat. If you experience technical difficulties getting onto the exam, if you do it online like me, just stay calm and flag it with the examiner by writing it in the chat. Your time will only begin once you have actually got on to the exam and began the exam. So don't panic if the start time passes and due to technical difficulties you haven't logged on. Top tip. The PDF layout of the BSB handbook is different to the online layout of it that you will view in the exam. Familiarize yourself with both before the exam. Now, I revised from the PDF version and then used the online version in the exam. That was unnecessary stress because I never used the online version before. I still, thankfully, thank God, managed to find what I needed, but I was more familiar with the PDF version. What was my saving grace is that I remembered most of the sections, rules, and guidance. So I remember those things, and it helped me to quickly still navigate it, although I was quite unfamiliar with the online version of it. Given that the examination software didn't use lockdown browser, we were just simply forbidden from opening other windows online or downloading anything because they would think that you're cheating. I didn't want to risk downloading the PDF version of the BSB handbook, although I found out after the exam from an acquaintance that it was fine. It was fine to download it. Anyway, that's a cautionary tale. Sorry, that's a cautionary tale. I encourage you to get comfortable with the layout of both versions, both the PDF and the online. Don't let anything take you by surprise. During the exam, read the questions carefully and speedily. The questions are long, most of them take up at least half a page, and some are closer to a page in length. There are only a few that may be a couple paragraphs. I personally found it useful to jot down as a note to myself before responding the ethical issues. So the applicable core duties, the rules, the guidance, any BSB documents. Then I formulated my answer in prose. Now remember, you only have 15 minutes to do this. So work quickly and efficiently. That's why I'm going to say again, do the mock exams, do as many mock questions as you can do. I was absolutely exhausted after the exam. I took almost the full 15 minutes for each question, so I couldn't take a bathroom break. If you need a bathroom break, if you know you're going to need a bathroom break, account for that as the time won't stop running. Now, the BSB has a helpful website with FAQs, so just visit that website to get any other questions that you have answered. But folks, before I go, expect a challenge. Expect a challenge with this exam so that you can be pleasantly surprised if it's easier than you thought. When I did it, it was quite challenging. This was corroborated by many pupils across England. Do not take this examination for granted. Treat it with the respect it deserves. And remember, if you fail to prepare to fail. This is not an exam that you can wing it. Some people think, oh, it's just ethics. I can just write anything. No, it is not an exam that you can wing. It's not an exam that you can just try your luck at. With that being said, though, I always love to end. I prefer to end on a positive note. With that being said, you are more than capable of conquering this exam. Study, undertake timed mock exam questions, and last but by no means least, go forth and prosper. You got this. See you guys later. It's always a pleasure. Have a good one, guys. Bye.